first person, a live person, will be alive. Because we can have messages.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, then you will see people in conference now, 1, 2, 3, and you will see a sign on air. Then
okay.
I'm dialing now already, and we have nobody yet.
Okay, so as soon as it says people in conference, we are live?
Right, yes.
Okay.
And you will see, okay, now you're on air.
Good evening. This is the office of Congressman Tony Cardenas in Washington, D.C. We've just finished the State of the Union address by President Obama, and Congressman Cardenas is back here in his Washington, D.C. office. This is a free telephone town hall where you'll be able to talk to the congressman about issues important to you in the San Fernando Valley. We'll be ready to start in just a couple of moments. Please hold on to the line for just 30 to 45 seconds, and we'll be ready to begin. In the meantime, if you know you're going to want to ask Congressman Cardenas a question, please press 0 on your phone right now. Please press 0 on your phone now if you know you're going to want to ask Congressman Cardenas a question. We'll be back to begin the call in just 30 seconds. Good evening, and welcome to Congressman Tony Cardenas' free telephone town hall meeting. Thank you for listening this evening. Congressman Cardenas will be with you in just a moment. We're here in Washington, D.C., in the Congressman's office, where he's just been in the U.S. Capitol listening to President Barack Obama's State of the Union address. If you have questions about the State of the Union address or about Congressman Cardenas' work here in Washington, D.C., or in the San Fernando Valley, press 0 on your phone now. Press 0 on your phone now if you'd like to ask Congressman Cardenas a question. For your information, the Congressman has hosted more than 24 workshops to help people sign up for the Affordable Care Act health insurance in the San Fernando Valley. There will be 2 more workshops going on, one later in January and one in February. To find out more, you can call the Congressman's office tomorrow at 818-781-7407. That's 818-781-7407. Or visit the Congressman's website, Cardenas, Cardenas, .house.gov. That's cardenas.house.gov. You can find out more information about the Affordable Care Act workshop where you can learn how to sign up for affordable, quality health insurance in the San Fernando Valley. We'll have a poll question in just a couple of moments, and you can answer a question to let Congressman Cardenas know how you felt about the President's State of the Union address. But first, we'll repeat this message in Spanish. Again, if you would like to ask a question of Congressman Cardenas, please press 0 on your phone now. This message will now repeat in Spanish.
Bienvenido a la llamada informativa con el congresista Tony Cárdenas. Estamos en Washington, donde el congresista acaba de escuchar el discurso sobre el Estado de la Unión del presidente Obama. Si tiene alguna pregunta para preguntar al congresista, que estará ahora con nosotros en línea, por favor presione 0. Si tiene alguna pregunta, presione el 0 en su teléfono ahora.
Thank you. And again, if you have any questions that you would like to ask the Congressman, please press 0 on your phone right now. You'll be put in queue to ask Congressman Cardenas a question. Our first poll question this evening is simple. Did you listen or watch the President's State of the Union address? Did you listen to or watch the President's State of the Union address? If you did watch the President's State of the Union address, press 1 on your phone now. If you did not watch the President's State of the Union address, press 2 on your phone now. And if you don't understand the question, press 3 on your phone now. And now here from Washington, D.C. is Congressman Tony Cardenas.
Hello, everybody in the San Fernando Valley. Thank you so much for coming together tonight on this telephone town hall opportunity. And I just wanted to say thank you and also say that it was good to see that the President was focused in his State of the Union address when it comes to working families, people who go to work for a living, and making sure that, for example, he reminds us that he's committed to making sure that we can do what we can here in Washington, that for women who work for equal work, they should get equal pay, and also that if a person goes to work 40 hours a week, they should get paid appropriately. And he also celebrated the fact that we have more people insured today that were never insured before. And those are some of the things that he touched on and made sure that he reminded us in Congress that if we work together, we can also do more good things along those lines. In addition to that, I'm glad to hear that he talked about child care. There are many, many two-parent families who are working these days. And if you can't leave your children in a safe place, you just don't go to work, and that's not right. People should have the opportunity to go to work, and he made it very, very clear that for us to make available affordable preschool, it's important for all families throughout the country. In addition to that, he talked about making sure that we give people the opportunity to go back to school, for example, to go to community college, hopefully for free, so that they can retool and re-enter the workforce, and also for our young people, so they can go on to learn new skills and go on to college, and also to make sure that they don't have a bunch of loans to pay off by the time they do finish college. These are the kinds of things that the President talked about, and to me, he talked about making sure that the middle class has opportunities to grow, the middle class has opportunities to go to school and get educated, and to make sure that everybody in this country has the same opportunities. And he also made sure that we understand that we shouldn't be giving loopholes to people or organizations that have a lot of money to work with, yet at the same time they pay less in taxes than people who work every day. And it's important to remember that Dodd-Frank or Social Security, those issues are very important as well, and those are things that hopefully we'll be dealing with in the Congress in the next 2 years. So with that, we're looking forward to answering your questions.
Thank you, Congressman. More than 1,000 people have already participated in our telephone town hall tonight. If you'd like to be one who asks a question, please press 0 on your phone now. Please press 0 on your phone now to get in line to ask Congressman Cardenas a question. And our first question is about the Dodd-Frank regulations. It comes from John in North Hills. John, you're on with Congressman Cardenas. I'm sorry, Charles. Charles, you're on with Congressman Cardenas about prison offenders in the San Fernando Valley area.
Yes, I mean all over. And
go ahead, you're on.
In the Valley, because I have nephews that have been looking for jobs that didn't serve 17 years their time. When they come out, they still have to be on probation, and they should have did a time. If they're in there that many years, they shouldn't have to be on probation. They should have jobs waiting for them when they come out, because you have to look at their behavior. I know you ask them questions before you let them out, and it seems to be a problem.
Yes, thank you very much, Etta. It's important for everybody to understand that when somebody does their time and they get out and they want to do right and they want to get back in the workforce, they should have the opportunity to do so. That's why I've been focusing at the state level, at the city level, and now at the federal level to make sure that we give people an opportunity to retool, go back to school. They can get skills so they can get into the workforce and they can feed their family and get their life back on track. So I think it's really important that we understand that it's the federal government can do its part, but most of that work is being done at the state and local level. And when you look at the Schiff Cardenas Act, it's about making sure that we have programs to keep kids straight so they don't go to jail in the first place. These are the kinds of things that studies have shown, and it's very, very clear that when we do these things right and we keep kids out of jail, we save a lot more money, and we don't need that much money from the taxpayers, and then we have less crime, and we have people who can go get a job instead of not being able to get a job because they have a criminal record. So thank you, Etta, for that question, and those are things that we are working on here in Washington, but also I've been working on them at the state level and at the city council level as well.
Thank you, Congressman. Our next call is going to come from John in North Hills, who has a question about the rollback of Dodd-Frank regulations. John, go ahead. You're on with Congressman Tony Cardenas.
Yes, Congressman. Thank you so much for this. Let's see. At the end of December, there was a bill passed that was backstopping somewhere around $200 trillion worth of derivatives with the banks. This is a major problem because we had the savings and loan crisis In 90, we had the crash of 08 in the 2000s. Both of these were caused when the government opened the floodgates and let the creative people with the banks be able to do things and not take responsibilities for their risk. Now, a very small amount of maybe 8 representatives had passed this bill, and it's not just billions of dollars; it's hundreds of trillions of dollars, which is even larger than our entire economy. Why was this passed in the first place, and how can we go about repealing this?
Well, John, I think what you're referring to is 8 members of Congress who signed on to a bill to introduce the bill into Congress. In order for a bill to get past Congress, it has to get at least a majority of the membership of Congress, which is 218 votes. Then it has to get passed and voted on by the Senate, and over 50% of the Senate has to vote and pass that bill affirmatively, and then it goes to the president. From my understanding, the issues of Dodd-Frank, of the rollbacks that you were just referring to, the president has already mentioned that if he were to get such a bill on his desk, that he would actually veto it. That's my understanding. So one of the things that we have to be concerned about is there's over 50% of the members of Congress and 50% of the Senate that seem to be in favor of passing those rollbacks, and those come from the fact that the Republicans control both the Congress and the United States Senate. So the only thing that we have to hope for is that when and if the president were to get that bill on his desk, that he would go ahead and veto it. But that bill would not be passed by 8 members, as you mentioned. It would have to take at least 218 members to vote for it. And even if they did get it out of our House, it would have to go to the state Senate. And it's my understanding that the rollbacks that you talked about on Dodd-Frank would be vetoed by the president if he were to see such a bill. Thank you for your question.
Thank you, John, and thank you, Congressman. Almost 2,000 people have participated in our free telephone town hall tonight, and you can be one who asks Congressman Cardenas a question. Press 0 on your phone now. Press 0 on your phone now if you'd like to get in touch with Congressman Cardenas and ask a question. Our next question comes from George in Sylmar. George has a question about health care events in the San Fernando Valley. George, go ahead. You're on with Congressman Tony Cardenas.
Yes, good morning. And I'm going to ask you about the health care.
And we're having a little bit of problem with George's telephone there, but George wanted to know from the Congressman when and where the nearest healthcare event is to learn more about signing up for insurance in the San Fernando Valley. Congressman, do you think you can help George out a little bit?
Yeah, George, if you go to cardenas.house.gov, you're going to see postings of the next events that we have right there in the San Fernando Valley. For example, in my first term in Congress, I'm very proud to say that with my staff and the enrollers who volunteered to be at our many, many events in the San Fernando Valley, we went ahead and signed up over 1,000 families for health care. And many of those individuals, when they did sign up, when they sat down, they didn't believe that they could actually get health care. But they were very pleased and surprised to know that after they sat down and got enrolled, they were able to enroll in health care. So the best thing for you to do is to go to cardenas.house.gov on your computer, and you're going to see the next events. We try to have them on Saturdays. We just had one this past Saturday, and then at Panorama High School, and then we try to have them as often as we can once we get enough enrollers to go ahead and help the individuals who need to learn more about it and enroll in their health care. Thank you for your question.
And our next question is going to come from Edie Soto in Sylmar. Edie has a question in Spanish for the Congressman about college affordability. Congressman, you're on with Edie in Sylmar.
Bueno.
Sí. ¿Sigue?
Quería preguntar si va a ser posible que los jóvenes puedan estudiar sin pagar tanto para que se puedan graduar y tengan mejor educación y mejor vida.
Gracias, Edie. Edie basically asked the question, what's going to happen, or are they going to change the fees to make it easier for kids to go to school who want to learn and go to college? And that's what the president was talking about today, challenging Congress to go ahead and work with the president of the United States to make community college free in this country. And also at the state level in California, they are able to do that as well. Edie, es muy importante que sepa que es uno de los temas que mencionó el presidente, que él quiere que el Congreso trabaje con él para que podamos manejar leyes para ayudar para arreglar la situación en los Estados Unidos para que los jóvenes no tienen que pagar para ir al colegio comunitario. Eso quiere decir que ojalá que podemos tener éxito y cooperación con los republicanos para pasar esas leyes. It's important for all of us to understand that that's the kind of law that can be passed by our legislative body here in Washington, and the president challenged us to do that in his speech today. He challenged us to go ahead and work with him to pass some laws that will allow us to allow people to go to community college, hopefully for free, so they can retool, get in the workforce, and then help our economy and feed their family at the same time. That was one of the challenges that the president made for us today. Gracias, Edie.
Thank you, Congressman. And our next call is going to come from the San Fernando Valley. It's Mr. Garcia, who has a question about a project that the Congressman worked on in the Los Angeles area. Mr. Garcia, go ahead. You're on with Congressman Cardenas.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Hey, how you doing, man? You came to my school last year, Triumph Charter High School, man. I met you.
Oh, yes. Good to hear.
And then I seen you at the opening at the skate park on Sheldon.
Uh-huh.
Oh, man, I really appreciate you doing that, man. I go there every single day pretty much after school.
You're welcome.
And I really
What's your question?
That.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I just wanted to know if you guys are going to make any more skate parks like that after school, because a lot of the kids, they stay out of trouble going there. I'm already older, and the younger ones, they need more opportunities to stay out of the streets because it's dangerous nowadays,
Well, thank you for your question, and I appreciate you appreciating what we did for the kids on the skate park on Sheldon just off of Laurel Canyon. That's actually the biggest skate park in all of the city of Los Angeles. I'm very proud to say that when I was a city councilman, I was able to get the funds to put that into the community there. I actually worked with Rob Deerdeck, who helped design the skate park, and also with a bunch of other community members who helped input in the design of the skate park. But it's really important to understand that at the federal level, it's a little harder for me to get skate parks done. But I am working very, very closely with Nuri Martinez, who's making sure that she expands not only that skate park, but tries to look for opportunities to do good things as well. And across the street from that skate park, Nuri Martinez is finishing a 40-plus acre park that used to be land owned by the city of Los Angeles that we turned into a park. I was able to start that, and Nuri Martinez is doing a great job of finishing that park. And if you want to have ask more questions about the skate parks in our community, you can call Nuri Martinez's office, her office in City Hall. It's 213-473-7006. Thank you for your question, and I appreciate the fact that you like the fact that we built that park for the kids and for everybody who wants to skate. Thank you.
Thank you, Congressman. And we're going to get back to questions in just a couple of moments here on the free telephone town hall being conducted by Congressman Cardenas here in Washington, D.C., after the President's State of the Union address. More than 3,000 people have already participated in our call tonight, and 500 plus are on the phone right now. If you're one of those 500 and you want to ask Congressman Cardenas a question, press 0 on your phone now. Press 0 on your phone now if you'd like to get in line to ask Congressman Cardenas a question. We'll be here for a little while longer tonight, and he's got lots of time to answer questions. But we want to ask you a question now to let you tell Congressman Cardenas what is most important to you. What is most important for him to work on in Congress? If it's creating jobs, press 1. If it's comprehensive immigration reform, press 2. Rebuilding our nation's infrastructure, press 3. Protecting Social Security and Medicare, press 4. Protecting net neutrality, press 5. Again, what is most important for Congressman Cardenas to work on for you in Congress? Press 1 if it's creating jobs. Press 2 for comprehensive immigration reform. Press 3 to rebuild our nation's infrastructure. Press 4 for Social Security and Medicaid. And press 5 if net neutrality is important to you. Our next question comes from Joanna in Sylmar. Joanna, your question is about Obamacare, and you are on with Congressman Cardenas.
Hi, I'm concerned about Obamacare, that I came off of COBRA believing that I could get onto Obamacare. Obamacare sent me a letter and denied me coverage. What are my options at this point? I can't go back on COBRA, and now I have no insurance.
Okay. It's really important to understand that in this day and age, it's almost impossible not to qualify for one of the programs, whether it's Medicare, Medi-Cal, or a private insurance through the Affordable Care Act. So what I can ask you to do now is to go ahead and call my office in the district. It's 818-7. I'm sorry, we just changed our number. 818-781-7407. 818-781-7407. And I just changed my office. The address now is 8134 Van Nuys Boulevard in Panorama City, and it's 2 blocks off of Roscoe on Van Nuys Boulevard. So I can promise you that if you call my office, we'll put you in touch with somebody who can help navigate you toward the coverage that you deserve and that you qualify for. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Congressman. And our next question is going to come from Hasmeek in North Hollywood. He's got a question about vacations and benefits for United States workers, but we just want to remind you real quick about our poll question. What's important for Congressman Cardenas to work on in Congress this year? If you want Congressman Cardenas to work on creating jobs, press 1 on your phone now. If you want him to work on comprehensive immigration reform, press 2. If you want him to work on our nation's infrastructure, press 3. To protect Social Security and Medicare, press 4. And for net neutrality, press 5. And again, if you want to ask Congressman Cardenas a question, press 0 on your phone right now. Hasmeek, you're on with Congressman Cardenas. Go ahead.
Hi, hello.
Hello.
My name is Hasmeek. I have this question. I am working caregiver for in-home supportive services, but I don't have any vacation. Already 7 years. And I want to have vacation as all normal, workers have.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
that's a great. Go ahead. Continue.
I want that you do something because we all deserve to have vacations. You have, and other people have. Only we don't have that. I don't know why. And also our salary is too low, $9.60 for 1 hour, and our job is, too stressful because we are working with the sick people, older people, and we really need high-paying job or vacation too.
Okay. Thank you, Hasmeek. I'm going to give you the number of your state senator here in the San Fernando Valley. If you call the state senator's office, they should be able to help you with your question if you're receiving any kind of abuse or problems with your employer. You do have rights, and I'm very proud to say that in the state of California, you have a lot of rights that in some states workers don't have. So it's really important to understand those rights, and the state Senate office can help you talk to somebody at the whether it's at the board of whether it's at the board, one of the state boards or not. Either way, it's really important to make sure that you understand that you do have rights. Also, in tonight's speech with Obama, he talked about the middle class and how time off for time off from work and things of that nature, and paid time off is really important as well. Again, in California, you have rights, and you can call your state senator at 818-901-5588. Again, it's your state senator, Bob Hertzberg, 818-901-5588. Thank you.
Thank you, Congressman. And our next question is going to come from Esperanza in Lakeview Terrace. Esperanza also has a question about jobs, but more about jobs for new folks coming into the workforce. Esperanza has a question about new students or new workers who just graduate college. Esperanza, go ahead. You're on with Congressman Tony Cardenas here in Washington, D.C.
Yes, hello, Tony Cardenas. I wanted to know, what about students that graduated college and have a degree and can't find jobs under the degrees they graduated from?
Well, actually, some of the things, Esperanza, that we're doing in the San Fernando Valley is we're making sure that we're pulling together some of the big employers, the small employers, and having job fairs, and also helping people understand where there are job openings and things of that nature. And again, we're having job fairs. In addition to that, you can go ahead and call my office, and we can point you in the direction of some of the websites that you can go ahead and look for jobs. In addition to that, one of the things that everybody needs to understand is that more and more every single day, when people are looking in the workforce, it's important to make sure that when you go to school, you take some kind of technical courses to make sure that you're ready for the kinds of things that you need for the jobs of tomorrow. And a lot of those jobs require you to work with computers. They require you to have some kind of STEM background. In other words, taking a class or two in the sciences. But aside from that, it's important to know that we're more than ready to help point you in the right direction when it comes to looking for a job. And the number in my office, again, is 818-781-7407. And you can call my office, and we can point you in the right direction of some of the websites that you can look for jobs, and also physically go to some job fairs that we help in the San Fernando Valley to put on. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Congressman. And again, if you'd like to ask Congressman Cardenas a question, just press 0 on your phone right now. Press 0 on your phone now to get in line to ask Congressman Cardenas a question. Our next question comes from Susan in Sylmar, who has a question about seniors. Susan, go ahead. You're on with Congressman Tony Cardenas.
Hi. I'm a senior. So is my husband. I have been working 25 years with the same employer with no pension. He was 30 years in aerospace. His pension, because he got laid off just before it vested, is $160 a month. We are very concerned about our Social Security, and we want to know that it's going to be safe. At this point, we're both still working full-time because we cannot afford not to. Do we have anything to worry about?
Well, as long as I'm in Congress, I will do everything that I can to protect Social Security and Medicare. And those are things that obviously you're going to be depending on throughout your latter years. But also what you need to do is pay attention to what the Republicans are saying, since they've taken control of the Senate and with the vote that took place in November. They're talking about privatizing Social Security. They're talking about taking the money out of Medicare. They're talking about things that should not be done. If they do those things, what they're going to do is they're going to put Social Security and Medicare at risk, which means that people who want to depend on it 5 and 10, 15, and 20 years from now, if they take advantage of the system and they're successful, what would happen is people like yourself 5, 10, 15 years from now will not have Social Security and or Medicare to depend on. So it's really important to pay attention to the politicians in Washington. Again, I'm telling you, I will protect Social Security and Medicare. I don't believe in privatizing Social Security. I don't believe in privatizing the systems that you worked hard for and that you can depend on. So thank you for your question. And again, pay attention to what's going on when you hear people talk on the floor of the House and in committee when they say that they want to privatize our public systems. Thank you.
Thank you, Congressman. Our next question is going to come from Miss Leela in Arleta. Miss Leela has a question about sidewalks.
Thank you. Mr. Cardenas, I am very happy that you are in Congress, and I think you add a very good you show that you believe in justice. Now, our sidewalks seem to be a real hazard. Children and parents walk by all the time on their way to school, and it really is a hazard. And somebody could trip and hurt themselves. That is my concern, and I do hope that in the future something can be done. I know there's a lot of things that need changing, and people need help with really important issues. But trees were planted by the city, and they were planted many years ago. We've lived here for over 60 years, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Leila. That's a great question, and you're absolutely right. The trees were planted 50, 60 years ago in the 1950s and 60s. Most of them got planted in the San Fernando Valley. Unfortunately, back then, they didn't plan very well, and they planted trees that, unfortunately, the roots are disrupting the sidewalks and causing major problems. So on that note, the sidewalks are something that the city focuses on, and the sidewalks are between the owners and the city of Los Angeles. and I'll give you Nuri Martinez's number since you live in Arleta. But the bottom line is this. The federal government has had programs like Safe Routes to School, where kids have routes to school. The federal government gave money to the city of Los Angeles to help them repair more sidewalks and replace trees and things of that nature. But unfortunately, we're having a lot of attacks on those kinds of programs where the government and through the Republicans, they're proposing through their budgets is to go ahead and zero out those dollars, making sure that we don't send money to places like the city of Los Angeles so they can fix the sidewalks. So it's really important to understand that the cuts that people talk about in Washington, you literally feel them just as you step out of your house. So it's really important to understand that what we do in Washington is important, but when it comes to fixing your sidewalks, Leila, you can call Nuri Martinez's office. Since you live in Arleta, she represents Arleta on the city council. And the number there for her office is 213-473-7006. So call Nuri Martinez's office and report the problems that you're having with your sidewalk, and hopefully they can get somebody out there, and hopefully they have the funds to go ahead and fix it as soon as possible. Thank you for your question.
Thank you, Congressman. And we'll have a question from Anna Maria in Pacoima in just a moment. For those of you still on the line, if you have a question that you'd like to ask Congressman Cardenas, simply press 0 on your phone right now. Press 0 on your phone right now to get in line to ask a question. We had a great poll question a couple minutes ago about what you think is most important for Congressman Cardenas to work on here in Washington, and we'll get to the results of that one in just a few minutes toward the end of our call. But our next poll question is a very simple one. Do you think Congressman Cardenas is doing a good job in Washington? If you think Congressman Cardenas is doing a good job, press 1. If you think he's not, press 2. If you don't know, press 3. Do you think Congressman Cardenas is doing a good job? Press 1 if yes, 2 if no, 3 if you don't know. Our next question comes from Ana Maria in Pacoima, and it is in Espanol. Ana Maria, you're on with Congressman Cardenas. Go ahead.
Mi pregunta era por qué nos quitaron al condado de Los Ángeles, le quitaron el programa del PPO, siendo que era el programa que más nos beneficiaba a los pobres, y nos quitaron ese programa este año, todas las aseguranzas, y nos dieron otros programas que nos van a costar más caros.
Gracias, Ana Maria. Ana Maria asked a question about why in the city of Los Angeles, it sounds like she works for the city of Los Angeles or somebody in the city, where they cut some of her health care, and her health care costs are now higher, and she's wondering why for poor people costs for health care is higher. Ana María, sobre las leyes que existen hoy sobre seguranza, sobre seguranza de salud, es muy importante que sepan que los pobres o la gente que no ganan muchos ingresos, ellos van a pagar mucho menos que antes. Por seguro van a pagar mucho menos que antes. Si uno está pagando más y no tiene altos ingresos, es que ellos no tienen el programa que ellos califican. Es muy importante que uno sepa cómo calificar para esos programas y les podemos poner en contacto con las personas que les pueden ayudar con eso. It's really important to understand that what the question is about is why are poor people going to pay more for their health care than they did before? Well, that is impossible under the new laws of the Affordable Care Act. If you are of low income, your family, and or you don't make very much money, your insurance is definitely cheaper than it was before. And in some cases, you might even qualify for Medicare, where it will actually be no cost to you on a monthly basis when it comes to premiums. So once again, I'd like to give out a number of my office, and we're more than happy to put you in touch with somebody who can help you navigate through the system and find out which health care programs you qualify for and make sure you get the best health care at the best price. The number in my office is 818-781-7407. El número de mi oficina donde pueden llamar y les podemos poner en contacto con alguien que les pueden ayudar con las formas y cómo llegar de acuerdo con un programa de salud que les conviene. El número de mi oficina es 818-781-7407. Gracias. Thank you.
Thank you, Congressman. And again, we have a poll question running right now. Do you think the Congressman is doing a good job in Washington? Press 1 on your phone if you think he is. Press 2 if not, and press 3 if you don't know. Do you think Congressman Cardenas is doing a good job in Washington? Press 1 if yes, 2 if no, 3 if you don't know. Renee from San Fernando is next. Renee has a question about the LGBT community. Go ahead, Renee. You're on with Congressman Tony Cardenas.
Good evening, Tony Cardenas. We don't have a lot of support here in the Valley with the LGBT. What is your project to bring more support into our community? Because definitely we need a lot of support with the LGBT, like research, like HIV testing, like when they don't accept the parents when their kids are coming out of the closet. So what are you going to bring more into our district?
Well, thank you for your question, Renee. That's a great question, and if you call my office, there's at least 3 organizations that are more recent in the Northeast San Fernando Valley. We have one organization in Sylmar that works on, especially works with youth. There's another organization that's just setting up right there in North Hollywood that works with adults and youth, and there's another organization that's trying to find a home there in the Northeast San Fernando Valley to specifically work with the LGBT community. Once again, if you call my office, we're more than happy to give you the names and the phone numbers of those organizations so you can communicate with them. And the number at my office, once again, is 818-781-7407. Again, we have some organizations that we can refer you to. And if you call my office, they'll be more than happy to do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Congressman. The next question that we have tonight is from Betty in Sylmar. Betty has a question about child care. Go ahead, Betty. You're on with Congressman Tony Cardenas.
Yes, my question was regarding child care. What plans do you have to provide more child care resources for providers so they're able to give that a cost break for the families that want to put their children in preschool and can't afford it?
Thank you, Betty. That's a great question. When I was in the state legislature and I was the budget chairman, we put more money that year into programs to subsidize child care here in California. But also it's important to understand that the federal government does have a role to play, and that's what Obama talked about in his speech. He mentioned it more than once, that families who need to go to work, especially single moms and or two-parent working families, to have a safe place to put your children and affordable child care is very important to him, and I agree with him 110%. So me, as a congressman, my job is to go ahead and push those bills forward and to make sure that when we vote for a budget, that the budget does, in fact, have money in it so that we can make sure that there is affordable health care there in the community. We do have health care, subsidized health care in the San Fernando Valley. We have, my understanding, a few thousand slots, as they call them, for children in the San Fernando Valley. Once again, you can call my office, and we're more than happy to refer you to the organizations who serve the community for child care, from Sylmar to Pacoima to Sun Valley, North Hollywood, in the Lake Balboa area, Van Nuys, you name it. Again, the number for my office is 818-781-7407. I've been elected to office for over 18 years now, and every year that I've had an opportunity to work on a budget and to fund a budget, I've always made sure that we put dollars in there for child care to help families go to work and have a safe, affordable place to take their child. Thanks for your question.
Thank you, Congressman. And we have our poll answer in now. A couple different polls. The first one was, what is your most important priority for Congressman Cardenas this cycle in Congress? The answers were jobs, comprehensive immigration reform, infrastructure, Social Security and Medicare, and net neutrality. 28% of you thought that jobs were the most important, and 33% thought that Social Security and Medicare were most important. Just behind that, 25% of you thought that comprehensive immigration reform was the most important priority for the congressman to work on, while 14% of you believed that infrastructure was most important for Congress to work on this year. Our next poll question was, do you think Congressman Cardenas is doing a good job? 60% of you said yes, and 33% didn't know. Only 7% didn't think the congressman was doing a good job, so thank you all for your answers there. We have one final poll question this evening, one final question. It's a very simple one. Do you have children? 1, yes. Press 1 on your phone if yes, you have kids. Press 2 if you have yes, but they don't live at home. Press 3 if no, you don't have any children, and press 4 if you don't understand the question. Our next question from the constituents of the 29th District, the San Fernando Valley, comes from Nancy in North Hollywood. Nancy has a question about the Affordable Care Act. Go ahead, Nancy. You're on with Congressman Tony Cardenas.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Nancy. Go ahead.
This question is, the topic itself is very personal to me. In regards to the Obamacare plan, there's a lot of confusion by the people that you go to request a claim or medication or a procedure that needs to be done. A lot of those people are confused. Because of that, it's delaying the patient being helped as soon as possible. My mom was diagnosed with cancer in January of last year, and we were trying to get through everything medically. Everything was planned, and we were surprised to know that her Medi-Cal plan had changed. It was LA Care, and they only allow you to go to county facilities. The problem is with the county facilities is they take too long between appointments. Between then and March, my mother got sick, and by April 10th, she had passed away while we were still waiting for them to get us to the correct doctors and get us the procedures that were requested by the doctors she was seeing. What are you guys planning to do to educate those people on that end so this doesn't happen?
Nancy, thank you so much for your question, and I'm sorry for your loss about your mother passing away. And it's unfortunate that some people are waiting too long to get their health care answers and to see the right doctor so that they can get the proper procedures. I think it's important to understand that one of the reasons why some things are taking too long is we do have new systems. However, what hurts us is when we see cuts in the programs and cuts in the funding. We do need more dollars. We do need to make sure that our governments are efficient. Yet at the same time, anytime somebody is running into a problem, for example, with the County of Los Angeles, it's important to understand that you should get a hold of your local representative. For example, Sheila Kuehl's office, she's the new supervisor for the County of Los Angeles. And we just had a new election in November of last year, and Sheila Kuehl is the new representative, and she started in December of 2014. And so the best thing to do in the future for anybody listening to this town hall meeting is when it comes to the County of Los Angeles, and if you have some issues, you can go ahead and call your representative at the county, and they should be able to point you in the right direction. And if you have legitimate issues going on with a particular department like the county hospital, then you should be able to get them to help you and assist you to make sure that you can get these things done faster, and you can go ahead and make sure that you have your answers given to you. You can. I don't have the new phone number for Sheila Kuehl's office at the moment, but you can call my office at 818-781-7407, and we will get you the number, the current number for the new supervisor for the San Fernando Valley, Sheila Kuehl. I think this is the number here. It's Sheila Kuehl's office. She's the county supervisor for the San Fernando Valley. Her number is 213-974-3333. Again, it's area code 213-974-3333. And once again, Nancy, I'm sorry for your loss, and hopefully in the future, if you run into issues, you call the county supervisor's office. If it has to a medical issue, if it's something else, you should always be ready, willing, and able to call any of your representatives, either me at the congressional level, the city council level, Senate level, at the state level, etc. Thank you.
Thank you, Congressman. And again, our poll question, do you have children? Very simple question. Do you have kids? If you do, press 1 on your phone now. If you have kids but they don't live at home, press 2. If you don't have kids, press 3. And if you don't understand the question, press 4. One of our poll questions today, our last one, on this free telephone town hall conference call from Washington, D.C. with Congressman Tony Cardenas here in the San Fernando Valley. Our next question comes from Van Nuys, and it's Sergio, who has a question about small businesses. Sergio, go ahead. You're on with Congressman Tony Cardenas.
Hello, Tony.
Hello, go ahead.
Hello. My question is, I know that the president on his speech talked about, taxes and small businesses. So just kind of wanted to know what direction can I expect it to go. I just opened my own business, my own insurance company, right now, last September. So I'm kind of new at it. So I wanted to know what direction can we expect it to go as far as taxes, help, or anything that to grow the business.
Well, Sergio, congratulations on opening up your business. Before I ran for the state legislature in 1996, my wife and I ran a real estate company right there in the San Fernando Valley. I was born and raised in Pacoima. I'm very, very proud to own a business right next to the high school that we went to, San Fernando High School. So just on a personal note, be ready because you got to fill out county forms, city forms to register your business, and you have to be ready to make sure that you keep all of your taxes in line at the federal level, the state level, the county level, and the city level as well. So once again, congratulations on opening up your business. We actually have a small business guidebook that my office created and prepared, and a lot of the small businesses that we've given them to have thanked us for it, and they said it's really, really helped them figure out how to navigate through their new small business or their pre-existing small business, and also to take advantage of opportunities if you're hiring new people. There are some programs at the state and federal level that give you tax credits for hiring new people, et cetera. And also we have a grant workshop coming up as well, and that's something that you may want to look into. Again, the number at my office is 818-781-7407. And also about a block away from my office on Van Nuys Boulevard, there's a not-for-profit organization that gives free advice to starting businesses and small businesses, and they're called ICON, I-C-O-N. Again, you can call my office at 818-781-7407, and they'll give you the phone number for ICON, and if you let them know that you'd like a small business guidebook, it's really helpful. We'll give you one. It's free. And once again, congratulations on starting your new business, and I'm sure it's going to be exciting. It's not always going to be easy, but as a former small business owner myself, it certainly is exciting, and congratulations, and I look forward to hearing about your success.
Thank you, Congressman. Congressman Cardenas' Small Business Guidebook is available on his website at Cardenas, C-A-R-D-E-N-A-S, .house.gov, cardenas.house.gov. Congressman Cardenas' website offers many of the same services that his district office helps with, including help with federal government agencies, help with grants, and help with immigration and naturalization services. Again, you can visit Congressman Cardenas' website at Cardenas, C-A-R-D-E-N-A-S, .house.gov to learn more about what Congressman Cardenas' office can do for you in the San Fernando Valley and here in Washington. Congressman Cardenas' office helps with immigration and naturalization services, and that's one of the questions that our next caller has. Lily in Van Nuys has a question for Congressman Cardenas. Go ahead, Lily. You're on with the Congressman.
Lily, go ahead.
Hi, I have a question. First, I'm proud, to find somebody from the valley, to spoke up because, we feel, we are, out of service. But thank God, we have somebody, to spoke to tell about how you feel, what bothers us. But my question about the migration, I've been here for 15 years. I have a kid here. My kid is born here, but I've been here 15 years. I'm still waiting for a green card. What's the status for the migration about if somebody wait here, stay here, not legally for like 10 or 15 years?
Well, thank you, Lily, for your question, and I hope things go well for you. But that's one of the things that Obama took executive action on late last year, when the Congress would not take action. And unfortunately, Lily, this year the Republicans have pushed even harder to not want to work on comprehensive immigration reform. So hopefully, Lily, you're one of the 5 million people that will be affected, that will eventually be able to get some legal status, and then eventually, hopefully, Congress will pass laws to give you an opportunity to get a green card. But for right now, hopefully you're one of the individuals who will get some kind of temporary status based on Obama's executive action. And one of the things it's important, Lily, is that you can always call my office. My job as a representative is to represent all 700,000 people in my district. and you're one of them, Lily. So you're welcome to call my office if you need some kind of help or you need some direction as to what kind of organization to work with in order to help you with your papers. Again, the phone number in my office is 818-781-7407. And also, I'm very proud to say that a woman who lives in my district and actually is a business owner who is undocumented right now. She's been in the United States for 26 years. She's been working and employing people in the San Fernando Valley for 18 years, and she's very proud of her 4 children who she's raising here in the San Fernando Valley. Then they're from the ages, I think, of 16 to 25, and I just want to say that it was very, very nice to see her up here in Washington. She was in the gallery watching President Obama's speech tonight, and I'm very proud of the fact that she's working hard. She's helping our economy in the San Fernando Valley, and she, like you, Lily, is looking forward to the opportunity of having her paperwork straightened out so that she can stay here and stay with her family and be instead of being separated from her family. So I wish you well, Lily, and again, my office number is 818-781-7407, and my office might be able to assist you directly and or refer you to an organization that can help you with your legal status. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Congressman. We have time for a couple more questions here on tonight's free telephone town hall with Congressman Tony Cardenas. If you want to ask the last question, press 0 on your phone now. Press 0 on your phone now if you'd like to ask Congressman Cardenas a question. The second to last question comes from Cass in Pacoima, who has a question about wages. Cass, go ahead. You're on with Congressman Tony Cardenas.
Go ahead, Cass.
Oh, hi, Tony. My question is about wage compression, which oftentimes, and I've seen this through my entire working life, is when minimum wage goes up, anybody who's making above minimum wage doesn't see a significant change in their wages. In fact, they usually don't see any at all. And we're expecting minimum wage to go up again, and I'm wondering, when are we going to start telling businesses that's not fair?
Yes, thank you very much, Cass. But one of the purposes for raising the minimum wage is to make sure that everybody who works can get closer to having the kind of wage that they can actually live on. And then the also side benefit of more people getting paid a higher minimum wage is so that locally the economy, grocery stores, shoe stores, everybody in the community actually has more dollars circulating in those communities where you have a lot of low wage earners, like Pacoima, for example. So it's important to understand that the raising the minimum wage is to help the workers at the lowest level of the pay grade. And unfortunately, the employers hopefully would go ahead and reward their workers who've been there longer with pay raises regardless of what the government requires as a minimum wage. For example, when I owned my own business, I'm very, very proud to say that I never paid minimum wage. I always paid higher. We just got to hope and pray that more and more employers realize the benefit of doing that. They keep their workers longer. Their workers are happier, probably happy to work harder and do a better job. In addition to that, it helps make sure that people have something to look up to when they are working for somebody for longer periods of time, knowing that the person who's been there longer than them is making more money and doing a good job, and they could look forward to getting higher wages as well. So once again, the government right now, I hope that we can go ahead and pass a minimum wage law. In the last Congress, in the last 2 years, there was H.R. 1010, which was looking to raise the national minimum wage to $10.10. And you may have heard Obama speak about that on more than one occasion. But again, I think that raising the minimum wage is helpful, especially for communities like Pacoima, to make sure that we have more people being able to feed their family and have more dollars to circulate in the community. But hopefully, Cass, when employers understand how that's good for their workers, it's good for their business, they'll be able to see the wisdom in raising the wages for the workers who've been there longer. Thank you, Cass, and I wish you well on your job.
Thank you, Congressman. And our last question tonight comes from Rachel in Sylmar, who has a question about crime and gang activity. Go ahead. You're on with Congressman Tony Cardenas. Rachel.
Thank you, and thank you for having this meeting where we can all sit at home and not have to leave the comfort of our homes to have these important conversations. My main question was, where do we go to get help regarding the crime level here in Sylmar. We're in a small HOA here in Sylmar, and we've experienced our vehicles broken into on the main street, windows bashed in, and now we're hearing in the middle of the night, we hear people racing their cars, and so we know people are getting out of work late at night, and their safety is at jeopardy here. We don't know if they're going to crash. We hear them, pretty much really loud. So anyway, we are just wondering, where can we go to get help on this matter and make it more safer here on our streets?
Thank you, Rachel. I really appreciate your question. I used to be a Los Angeles City Councilman before getting elected to Congress over 2 years ago, and I worked a lot on making sure that we reduce the gang problems, not only in the San Fernando Valley but throughout the city. So it's really important that the direct thing that you can do, Rachel, and your neighbors can do is really, really understand that neighborhood watches really do work. When you start a neighborhood watch, basically what you're going to see at your neighborhood watch meetings, and they usually take place once a month, sometimes more often, the actual senior lead officer who's in charge of that neighborhood on behalf of LAPD will show up to your meetings and actually report crimes and actually be there to listen to the kinds of things that are going on in your neighborhood and the crimes that you want to report. In addition to that, it's important to understand that today in the city of Los Angeles, including Sylmar, we have intervention prevention programs that the police officers can work with, the city council members can work with, and the community can work with to make sure that when we do find kids who are starting to be troublemakers, that there are programs they can go to and counselors they can meet with to make sure that they get back on track. Instead of creating 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and more crimes, we stop them on their first crime and make sure that they get back in school, they get back on track, and they have a counselor and things of that nature to make sure that the streets are safer. So in Sylmar, the council office phone number is 213-473-7007. So the phone number for your council office, Felipe Fuentes in Sylmar, is 213-473-7007. And I'm sure if you call his office and you talk about wanting to know more about how to start a neighborhood watch or how to refer situations or meet your local police officers, etc., they'll be more than happy to help you. They have a community of folks who work for the Felipe Fuentes, your councilman, and they'll be more than happy to walk you through those situations and help you meet the right people and maybe even start a neighborhood watch of your own. Again, thank you very much, Rachel, and appreciate it, and have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you, Congressman. We have actually enough time for one more call, so we'll get in Alejandro from Mission Hills. Alejandro has a question about the U.S. Senate. Alejandro, go ahead. You're on with Congressman Tony Cardenas.
Mr. Cardenas, the question is, when the Hispanos or Latinos in the Southern California, especially in LA County, we have representation in the U.S. Senate in Washington. I feel it's our time, and I hope you guys doing something for represent us in the Senate in Washington. How are you feeling about the opening for now? The Senator Boxer apparently is not looking for the next election.
Yeah, she's retiring. Thank you very much, Alejandro. That's a really great question. Senator Barbara Boxer, who's a really good senator, and Senator Dianne Feinstein, who's also a senator, who's been up here representing California longer than Barbara Boxer. They're both from the Bay Area, north of Southern California, and that's a great question, Alejandro. I look forward to us having a Southern California represent us here in Washington in the United States Senate. Actually, we have two people from the LA area who are congressional members who are talking about possibly running, and that's Congressman Javier Becerra and also Loretta Sanchez. She's also a representative from the greater Los Angeles area, Southern California. And in addition to that, our former mayor, Antonio Vergosa, I was talking to him a few days ago, and he's thinking about possibly running. And also our own San Fernando Valley person, Alex Padilla, and he is thinking about running possibly as well. So there's a possibility that we'll have a good, strong candidate from Southern California running for the United States Senate, and it's been a long, long time since we've had a United States Senator representing Southern California for the state of California. Again, thank you all very much for the opportunity to have this town hall meeting, and I look forward to talking with you again and meeting you in the community. Okay, and I'll give the phone over to Paul.
Thank you, Congressman, and thank all of you for joining us here on this free telephone town hall meeting from Washington, D.C. on the State of the Union address evening. More than 3,700 of your San Fernando Valley neighbors participated in this call with Congressman Tony Cardenas. If you have any further questions about the Congressman or about what he's doing here in Washington or the San Fernando Valley, you can contact him at our district office. The phone number in Panorama City is 818-781-7407. That's 818-781-7407. You can stay in touch with the Congressman on social media as well. Congressman Cardenas' Twitter is at Rep Cardenas, at REPCARDENAS. And on Facebook, Rep Cardenas as well, facebook.com/Rep Cardenas, REPCARDENAS. Finally, you can stay in touch with the Congressman on the web at cardenas.house.gov, cardenas.house.gov. And there you can sign up for the Congressman's newsletter. Again, that's Cardenas, CARDENAS.house.gov. Thank you all for participating this evening, and good night from Washington, D.C.